Hello everybody, welcome back to the Quick Take and welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. In today's video I'll be going over the news regarding Florian WIRTZ, Victor Osimhen, Benjamin Sesko, Trevor Chalobah and some other things. But first, a word from OwnASaber.com. Before I continue, I would like to quickly remind you I am running a giveaway with OwnASaber.com where at 15,000 subscribers you could be in with a chance at winning the King of London lightsaber, the perfect saber for every Chelsea fan. 3 participants will be chosen and all you have to do to enter is subscribe to the channel and check the pinned comment down below for more information. And with that, on with the video. So, as I said, I have some important updates regarding players like Florian WIRTZ, a player who I've actually talked about on the channel before. When Mason Mount was sold, I did a video going over the potential replacements Chelsea could look into. One of those names was Florian WIRTZ along with Ryan Cherky. I think I did Ryan Cherky, Gabri Veiga was on there. Mohamed Kudus and someone else. Xavi Simons was also on that video, but we ended up going for Cole Palmer. We were going to go for Kudus, but something happened. He went to West Ham, so that's that. But Florian WIRTZ, for those of you who don't know, was my #1 choice to replace Mason Mount, and it looks like Chelsea are going back in for him. Here we go. Florian WIRTZ is getting closer and closer to Chelsea, who have intensified contacts with Bayer Leverkusen to ensure he arrives at the end of this season. Now, Chelsea have done business with Bayer Leverkusen before. Of course, the Kai Havertz deal, we had some issues with the price. It took a while to get it done, but we did manage to get it all sorted. And since then, he won the Champions League, so hopefully we can replicate that good luck with him. But as I said, Florian WIRTZ, he's a fantastic creative player. I've got some notes on him now. He's a creative demon. He ranks in the high 90s percentile rankings for assists, shot creating actions, passes attempted, progressive passes, successful take-ons, and expected assisted goals, which means the pass before the assist, which is very important. It's a very important component to the attack, of course. He is the one that creates those spaces, and one of the things Chelsea has struggled against this season, or well, for the past few seasons, is our inability to break through the low blocks. Now, having someone like Florian WIRTZ, it brings a dynamism to our attacking play. Currently in the attack, we usually run something along the lines of Mykhailo Mudryk, Cole Palmer, Raheem Sterling, and then whoever's up front and striker, whether it's Nicholas Jackson or Armando Broja. At the moment, it's Nicholas Jackson. Armando Broja is out injured again. Nicholas Jackson's just back from injury to his wrist, but he will be playing against Blackburn, I've been told. That doesn't really allow for that much creative freedom. Mudryk can be creative, however, he's injured at the moment, and that's not really his exact forte. He's quite good at breaking through defenses with his pace, and basically allowing us to play further up the field because teams have to play a more defensive shape that's more towards their own half. When Mudryk came off against Arsenal, we saw this. Arsenal were able to press up the field. He allows us to have that basically creative dominance, that attacking dominance when he's on the field. Cole Palmer, very good player. He's not as creative as someone like Florian WIRTZ, but he's still able to see passes and he's able to see opportunities that a lot of Chelsea attackers don't. Even though Raheem Sterling, he did work under Pep Guardiola, creativity isn't exactly his forte, his #1 attribute. His #1 attribute is diving. No, it's very difficult to pinpoint exactly what Raheem Sterling brings to the table as his #1 attribute. You know, he can score goals, but at the same time, he can miss quite a few chances. He can win penalties, but at the same time, it's a clear and obvious dive, and he may get booked in the process. He does a lot of things okay, but in my opinion, Raheem Sterling doesn't really do anything amazing. He can be very good on his day, but he can also be one of the worst players on the pitch. He's very Marmite, you know. And then obviously Nicholas Jackson is Nicholas Jackson. He's not got that killer instinct at Villarreal. I did do a video on Nicholas Jackson asking whether or not he'd be perfect for Chelsea, and at the time I believed he'd be a good addition. I don't think, and I think I said this in the video, I may not have done, but I think I said he shouldn't be the #1 pick just because of how raw he is and how much work he really needs to put into his play. Before, if I remember correctly, before he had his really good string of games in, I think it was May. Before that, I think he had 5 or 6 goals in like 30 games for Villarreal, which averages like a goal every 5 or 6 games. Not particularly great, and that is who Chelsea brought in as the main striker, and we have, of course, had massive goal-scoring issues since then. It doesn't help that he's not been as clinical in front of goal as we'd like. And so that is why Chelsea will be interested in someone like Victor Osimhen, who, according to reports, is the #1 priority striker. Now, the reason I say this is you can have Florian Wirtz in the side, and he can create as many chances as you want for players like, I mean, we had one against Brentford with Cucurella. He just shot it straight at the keeper, but in fairness, Cucurella is a left back, not a striker. It should really be Nicholas Jackson getting into that position, not our left back. Nicholas Jackson, he's missed quite a lot of big chances, and so even if we manage to break through the defense and put a opportunity to score on a silver platter for Nicholas Jackson, you're not exactly guaranteed that goal. And as I said, having someone like Victor Osimhen, that would guarantee you that goal. Let's have a look at Victor Osimhen's output. 6 goals in 8 games this season so far. He is out injured with, I think, a hamstring injury. He'll be back from that injury in a week or two. 26 goals in 32 games last season for Napoli, 7 of which were headers, which means he does pose an aerial threat. A lot of the times we win corners, and we don't really have that many players who can put them into the back of the net. You know, we had someone like Chalobah last season who was able to do it. Thiago Silva is a threat. However, Thiago Silva, as I believe so, will be leaving, or at least retiring, or potentially moving to Brazil at the end of the season. And Chelsea will be in the market for another defender, but that's a video for another day. So we will be losing that aerial threat. Nicholas Jackson, as I said, doesn't really pose that aerial threat. Victor Osimhen does, absolutely. He is a beast. I think he's like 6'2", 6'3". He's slightly shorter than Nicholas Jackson, but for some reason he's able to outmuscle a lot of other players, and he's got that edge about him that allows him to win headers against more bulky defenders, which is something that Nicholas Jackson doesn't really have. But that is not the only striker Chelsea have been rumoured to be going into. This is coming in from Transfer News Live, reported by the Evening Standard. Brentford are willing to sell 27-year-old striker Ivan Toney for 80 million in January. Chelsea, Tottenham and Arsenal have all been linked. As I said, he will cost 80 million. A lot of people were saying 65 million, but I do believe Brentford will hold out for 80 million pounds. That's just where football is nowadays. I said in my striker video I did a while back where I was comparing, I think, Gonçalo Ramos, Ivan Toney, Benjamin Sesko, I think was in the video, and of course Victor Osimhen. I think I actually did say that Brentford will hold out for somewhere in the region of 100 million, whether that's pounds or euros. I did believe that is how much Ivan Toney would be worth. He's a very proven Premier League striker, and of course English, that adds a few million as well, and he is their #1 goal threat, although they've actually been doing okay following his ban, with Mbeumo and Wissa leading the attack. He is a player, he's not exactly my favourite striker. I do believe he's a little bit more unprofessional than someone like Victor Osimhen, who's really focused on becoming the best that they can be, whereas Ivan Toney, I think he's spoken in the past about his desire to want to play for Arsenal. Arsenal, of course, in a far better situation than we are. Same with Tottenham. They don't really have that target man at striker. They got James Maddison, who doesn't play at striker. They got Heung-min Son, who's playing at striker at the moment. But I think Son would work best alongside someone like Ivan Toney, which is why maybe we don't want him to go to Tottenham. But in my opinion, if I was Spurs, I'd be all over Ivan Toney. I think him alongside James Maddison and Heung-min Son would be perfect. I just don't think he's what we need right now. I think we need a Victor Osimhen. He takes a lot of penalties. He takes a lot of free kicks. That's where a lot of his goals come from. Whereas Victor Osimhen, his non-penalty goal stats are actually really, really, really good compared to an Ivan Toney. But that's just my opinion. I did mention Benjamin Sesko earlier. Of course, I'm a big fan of Sesko. I even did an entire breakdown of Benjamin Sesko, going over his life, his career, and what he brings to Chelsea. Despite Milan's interest in Benjamin Sesko, Chelsea have had their eyes on the 20-year-old, who will cost around 40 million euros to 50 million euros, which is around 35 million pounds or 45 million pounds, around the same price as Benjamin Sesko, as Nicholas Jackson. And in my opinion, Benjamin Sesko would bring a lot more to the side than someone like Nicholas Jackson. Benjamin Sesko is fantastic. He's quite tall, but he's able to hold his own. He's not like a Nicholas Jackson, or he's not like a Tammy Abraham tall, where you give him one budge and they're on the ground with their legs up in the air. He's able to hold his own in that sense. He's playing in a fairly physical league in the Bundesliga. As I said, it's not the hardest league in the world, but it's not the easiest either. It's in that middle ground, and he's doing fairly okay. He's got 3 goals in 7 games this season, which isn't too bad considering he doesn't start a lot of games at the moment. He's still being integrated into the side. He's a great striker. He did very well at FC Liefering, and he did very, very well at RB Salzburg. If you haven't seen my breakdown video for Sesko, please do watch it. It's actually quite good, I think, in my opinion. I'm just saying. But it is decent, and you get a really good idea as to the kind of striker he really is. But that's not the only news we have today. Yes, I'm telling you right now, we got loads of news today. Trevor Chalobah is not in Pochettino's plans. United are interested in the centre-back along with Bayern Munich. Now, we did hear news earlier this week that Chelsea were going to go in for a centre-back come the January or the summer window. I'm desperate we sign Antonio Silva. I think he's a brilliant centre-back. Playing for Benfica at the moment, so will be expensive, but he is fantastic, and in my opinion, he's the next Thiago Silva. We have relied so heavily on Thiago Silva, so to bring in a player who is... He's young, but he plays, as I said, he plays like he's been playing football for 15, 20 years. He's fantastic. He reads the game really well. He's got a really good defensive technique where he's able to win the ball cleanly. He doesn't give away a lot of penalties, a lot of fouls. He's a fantastic defender, and Chelsea would do well to sweep him up. I'd love to see a back line of Marc Cucurella, Levi Colwill, Antonio Silva, and Reece James. That would just be fantastic. We would be set for life with that. And before I finish the video, I would like to let you know the injury news going into tonight's game against Blackburn. Mudryk is still out, apparently. Reece James, Benoit Badiashile, and Axel Disasi all expected to start against Blackburn tonight in the League Cup. I will be doing a watch-along, so make sure you tune in for that. I think last time we had around 50 people watching towards the end of the watch-along against Brentford, which is just a brilliant stream. There were loads of questions in. I'd love to hear your questions. I love doing the streams because I actually get to talk to you. With videos, I'm just kind of talking at a camera, but with live streams, I'm actually able to have discussions and answer questions and give my opinions on live on what's going on in the world. So make sure you tune in. As I said, I will be live. I think the game kicks off around 7:45 UK time, so we'll be live around about 7:30 onwards. Make sure you tune in. I've been the Quick Take, and I'll catch you on the next one. See you later.